Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I wanted to come back on with a part 2 to my Amazon budget planner. So I recorded a recent video with my Amazon haul, which was a brand new budget planner, new to me at least, budget planner that I found on Amazon. And I mentioned in that video that I was going to convert it to disc bound, and so I wanted to be able to hop on, show you what it looked like set up, and kind of talk to you about comparing it to the Happy Planner budget planner. And so that's what this video is going to be about. And then I was actually mentioning that I was going to do a budget setup, setting up my budget for the month of August, but I'm not sure that I'm going to do that. I think I might just kind of maybe do it. I might still do it, but it might be something where I'm trying to get into the groove of the month of August, and so I might not have the time to do that with all of my classes and family members kind of moving around and doing all the different things. So it's kind of a busy time, the beginning of August. So with all that being said, I wanted to record this video just to kind of show you the setup, and then I may or may not do the actual budgeting video. So with that being said, this basically is the update that I've been able to do with this particular planner, which I'm excited about because it's so much slimmer, I feel like. All right, and so I'll tell you what I ended up doing was putting the planner in here, and then I actually had already a piece or half of a budget planner that I went ahead and added in here. And so with that addition, it basically, with those additions, those two pieces, those two budget planners, it's now about the same thickness as it was prior with all the Happy Planner pocket folders. And so the major change that I did was take out all of these folders, and so you can see how bulky this is, and so I basically replaced this with all the pages in here, so you'll kind of see that as I flip through it. I took out 11 folders. I did save one folder, so I had initially 12 pocket folders from the Happy Planner in here, and so I kept one and took out 11. So it is where I converted it, you can see, from the coil bound to disc bound, and I think it looks really nice. And so I did save this one folder, like I said. I put this in the front, and the reason I kept this one is because it gives me a pin holder. I attached a pin holder straight to the pocket, and I thought that worked out well. I've got some other notes in here too, so I wanted, I think, just the pin holder, but it's already come in handy. In this setup that I had as part of my home binder system, I already had a section that was budget, and these are old budget notes from 2023. So these are all kind of in here, and so I left those in there, right? And then right after that, I basically just put in all of the pages, and between the pages from the actual budget planner, I added Happy Planner dividers. And so these are the pages that came from the budget planner. But one of the things that I think you might be able to see is that the pages are not as wide as the divider. It is pretty much the same height, it's just not as wide as the paper, sorry, the divider, which to me, it doesn't bother me at all. But I use my Staples arc punch to punch these, and so it's the same depth here, so that the mushroom stem doesn't go further than the coils. So I think that's perfect, and it's just a little bit shorter. It's not as wide, which I think is totally fine. I did decide that these pocket folders that came as part of the budget planner, I would have it set up very similarly to where it's before the divider. So this pocket folder is the January pocket folder. It will come before the divider. If you're used to the Happy Planner system, you know they have the currently page, or that very last page is going to be for the next month. And so I set it up to where this is going to be the next month. This will be for January, and I've got it set up pretty much all in here, right? And so it's, again, I did a flip through and I talked about what it all kind of looks like, and so I have it set up basically until December, right? And I even left in the monthly budget review, the summary of the year, the account information, and this back sheet, and I punched in as well the back cover of it. So all of that just ended up in there. Basically what I did was just separated it with dividers, and then I also, as I mentioned earlier, I included basically all the components of the budget planner that I had already set up, and I just stuck it in here. So this is what placed all the pocket folders, get this kind of component, or this section right here. And I do have in here two different versions of a budget planner. One of them, let me show it to you, is, I don't know if this is the correct divider for it, I assume it is, but this is an older budget planner. So you can see here it's bill pay checklist, due date, amount paid, right? And there's 2 pages of that, and then these expense trackers. I've definitely used multiple pages, so they do come with like several copies of this, like that are double-sided, but I've used it. And so then it also has like this budget review at the end of the month, and then this month at a glance at the end of each month. That's kind of like that. And again, I've used some of the pages already, but I have several months of that. Like this is the double-sided page that I've mentioned, right? So I have, I think, 4 months of that, and those are all in there. And then I also have in here, actually no, I have 6 months of that. Wow, okay. I also have like the newer budget planner, and I've already pulled this out, and I'm actually going to pull out a month of this one as well, so we can do a comparison, like with all 3, I guess, side by side with each other, just so you can kind of see which budget planner might be the most helpful for you. So this is the newest version of the Happy Planner. This is the oldest version, and then of course I have on the discs the budget planner that I purchased from Amazon. So I'm just gonna flip to a random month. Again, keeping in mind that the dividers are like from Happy Planner, so we'll have to ignore that part. I'll flip it this way so you can kind of see it. So of course the one thing that you might know already with Happy Planner is that it will give you a 2-page spread of if you use the budget planner with the dividers, it does have the other side of the blank divider, but you know, I just have like just the pages here, but it does come with like a 2-page spread. So one of the first things you'll see that's a difference is that the Amazon budget planner is only on 1 page. I mentioned in my review video, or like my flip through video, I actually prefer this. I feel like for budget planning I don't need like a 2-page spread, so this is condensed enough that I really do like it. Has a small spot for notes, so that is really helpful, right? So that's the first thing. Now both Happy Planners do have a monthly budget. So for the old version is at the very back. So this is what it looks like, right? So it has month at a glance. It has a section for income, which is not on here. There's a separate page for income, but you can see this a tiny section for income, and then it does break down. Like it has housing, and then it lists several like housing, I guess, like subcategories: transportation, insurance, food, children, taxes, personal care, entertainment, loans, savings / investments, and then miscellaneous. Now for me, I didn't like it where they had the labels already filled in, so I definitely prefer this method where I'm just writing everything in. So this is the old version. The new version also has it, but it's going to be the page that's right after the monthly planner. Or like the monthly spread, right? And so here it has month of, and then again it has like income section, and then one of the changes here is that it has an income minus expenses, so you can kind of total how much you spent, or like how much you were able to save or not spend in a month. So that's an addition that this older version doesn't have, right? And then same here, it does have housing with just mortgage and rent, whereas here it's broken down with multiple other categories. But then here it's housing, and this is housing with just mortgage and rent, but then this has a section for utilities, which this does not have, and it breaks down some of these right here: electricity, gas, TV, internet's not on here, phone also, well, it's right here, right? And this has more categories. So this has fewer categories, but it's broken out: housing and utilities. It still does have transportation. This one had transportation like right here with some listed, all right? It has medical. This one does not have medical, right? This one has food with the one label for groceries, and then personal, which is right here, personal care. Oh, includes medical right there, and then entertainment, and then other, which is like this miscellaneous. So on here it has savings and investments, and this one has taxes and a children's section and loans section. So there's several other categories on this one that this doesn't have on the newer version. So for me, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 sections, and this one has 8 sections. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sections, but they're already labeled, so you would have to white out if you're using this version. All right, so there is that. All right, so that's this page as well as this page. Right, so now we're going to move to the income tracker. So I've already kind of mentioned the income tracker here, right? This is the section for it. It has like basically main income, extra income, and then total income. So basically 2 lines, and then the line for the total. And then here for income, you have basically 3 lines. You do have a spot to total it, but this is 2 spots, 3 spots and then the total spot. And here you have 6 spots and then 2 total spots. So there's a lot more room here to track your income. So just making note of that, right? Now, for here, the newer version, I should have whited that out, but basically it has a savings tracker and an accounts and debts section, which I'll show you a little bit later once we get into like comparing it with the back pages here. But then this is the back. All right, oops, I'm throwing things. Okay, so this is the front, right? And so it has here this bill pay checklist. Now in the budget planner, this was not part of the monthly setup, but for this older Happy Planner, it is part of the monthly setup. So you would basically have to list out your bills every single month, the due date every single month, the amount, and paid, right? So you'd have to list it. It does have quite a lot of room for bill pay, so just kind of making note of that. But for this planner, that stuff is not in the monthly section. That's actually in the beginning section, which is like this this section right here, the bill tracker, right? So you can write it one time, the due date one time, and then just track the amounts and check off that it's been paid across the month. So you only write it once and then you just track your dollar amounts and check it off here, but it's not part of the monthly. So just pointing it out that it does have it, it's just not in the monthly section. Okay, so that's one of the things that the older version does have, and that is not in the newer version, just FYI. All right, and then after that it goes into expense tracker. Now in the older version, it's split up here. You can see here these are the same, right? So it says date, amount, category, description, and then it has several different like categories. So whether it was cash, credit, debit, a need, or a want. And I never really used that, but certainly you could use that. And then of course it has all the space right here. Now this is not broken down into like weekly per se, but certainly a lot of people did use it like week by week. So this would be week 1, this would be week 2, this would be week 3. I just kind of kept it as a running to-do list, or like a running log of my expenses. So those pages are there. Right, and then the last page, because this is the monthly review, the only other page here is like the budget review for each month. So this monthly review has where did I have the most trouble, what can I improve this month, and what goals can I set for next month. So this is like a monthly budget review, right? So hopefully it's not too skipping around too much, but like that has, at this point, it has the bill pay, which I showed you, and then the expense tracker and that monthly review. Right, and so this is the Amazon Planner's version of like the expense tracker. It says day-to-day spend, and it has multiple different sections. The thing that it is missing compared to the older version is like it doesn't have the breakdown of like this stuff. It does have date, it does have amount, right? It does have category and description, and here it's one category, here it's split, or one column, here it's split up into 2 columns, but it does not have the cash, credit, debit, need, want, which I personally don't use that anyway, so there is that. Okay, and so those pages are in here, and then it does have a monthly budget review, right? And so this is like basically similar to this. Right here, it includes some additional information: balance from last month, total income, total expense, difference, total saving, and then balance forward. All right, but the questions here: where did I have the most trouble? Exactly the same. What could I improve this month? This question is exactly the same, right? And then what goals can I set for next month? Exactly the same question. Okay, and so basically everything that's in here minus like the actual labels, like the specific categories or subcategories, and then this section of like cash, credit, debit, need, want, those are the things that are missing here. And then the other main thing is that for the Amazon Planner, it doesn't include the bill pay as part of the monthly setup. It's like set up as part of like the annual stuff, right? So hopefully this review is like really helping. But this was the old budget planner for the Happy Planner. Let me go back here to the new planner, right? And so I've covered this savings tracker. Actually, I'll skip this page for just a second. The new version, and sorry for this, like I've used these pages, right? But this is what the weekly expenses look like, right? So this is like basically these are like similar, right? Now one of the things here is like it does split it up specifically into weekly expenses. So it does give you, I think, 5 pages of weekly expenses, and it's meant to be broken down by week, right? So here it has weekly expenses, week of. It does still have date, it has description, right? And then it has amount, which is this, right? And then again, it has need and want, which again, I don't use that. So here it has category, but here it doesn't have a category. It has need and want instead. And then I'm assuming you see, because it lists here description, this is meant to be the category section, but I don't track my expenses like that. I don't just write groceries. I actually need to write like Walmart or like Publix or whatever, right? So I always had to white that section out. And then here, because it's meant to be a weekly expenses, you kind of do a weekly reflection, right? Where do I deserve a gold star? Is there anything I can do better next week? So that's missing from this planner. It doesn't have like a weekly reflection, but of course you have the pages here for that. And again, sorry for all the writing that was on it, all right? And then one thing that the budget planner from the newer version of the budget planner has that's not included in here is like there's like a monthly kind of like just free form space. So there's a notes and things, there's a little grid here for important, there's a to-do list or a checklist of some sort, and then it has like this kind of graph paper that's just like free form paper, right? And then also it has like for the month of, and this is supposed to be for the next month, right? So for the month next month, and then it has financial goals for next month, and then this one is keep track of events and unexpected expenses that pop up during the month, right? Don't forget. And then unexpected spends. So basically the budget planner here has like 3 additional pages that this Amazon planner does not have, and my pages are falling out, right? I can certainly recreate those pages if I need to by like adding like filler paper, but definitely it gives you all of these pages, and if you need that in a budget planner, then definitely this might be a better purchase for you, right? So the only other thing that I didn't talk about was going to be this savings tracker and accounts and debts. Now again, this is not something that's in the monthly setup for the Amazon planner. It's set up as like part of like the, I guess like the back pages for the planner, and so let me flip there and show it to you. All right, so this is like basically the end of December, right? But you see here, sorry, it's actually at the beginning. So like, of course I just purchased this planner, so like I'm not quite used to like flipping around yet, but like it's at the beginning, right? And so it has a couple of pages here that aren't in either one of these. Like there's an annual budget section, which is not in the other 2 planners. It has this bill tracker like at like a yearly review, which is not in the other 2. Right, and then here's the savings pages. Okay, so it has this, which the older extension pack does have this as one of the pages. So I used it apparently, so I don't have it. But then here's the savings tracker. Okay, and so it gives more of a breakdown. I think you have 4 spots for different things that you might be saving. Here you kind of have to combine it all together, right? But it doesn't have the date. It doesn't have the account, which I guess you might be putting it into one account or like a cash envelope, but it does have the activity or like the deposit amount, and then it does have balance, right? It's just a smaller amount, but like here, this is meant to be like a yearly review of it, so it might not be enough space, especially if you're doing like more regular deposits. Like if you're doing twice a month, it might not be enough space for that, but it's definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So like once a month, you can definitely fit in, you know, like one savings deposit per month. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8. It's enough for like 8 different savings. So if you do 1 a month, then you can have 8 different like things that you might be saving for. Here you'd only be able to do 4. So hopefully that makes sense. Like here you only have 4. This would be 8, but it's also like by month. And here you get it at like not month by month, but like at the yearly level. So hopefully that makes sense, right? Then here it's accounts and debts. So this is a debt tracker essentially, right? And this is the version from the Amazon planner. And so here you basically can track 8. So like here, this basically includes date, account, activity, and balance, which here it has date. Here it has the account, but of course, like right here, you would probably just use 1 per account, right? So you wouldn't necessarily need to have a column for that. And then of course it has activity or the payment, and then the balance. So there's of course enough room here, but again, to me, it makes more sense to have it at the yearly level. So instead of tracking it month by month, I'm tracking it across like I just have it at the very beginning before like even the monthly stuff, and I'm able to track it even if it's like it takes several years. I'm able to just track it at that level and see like within a year how many payments I made to reduce my debt. So hopefully that makes sense. To me, it makes more sense to have it here at the very front where I'm looking at it like every month, and just kind of tracking it together with like my savings, which is this section, and then with my bills, right, that just kind of makes sense to me, right? And an annual budget, all of that type of stuff makes sense to me to include at the very beginning, where I'm looking at it regularly and I'm able to see like the bird's eye view of my money instead of like trying to track it down month by month on the pages here. So again, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I really love this planner. It's just, to me, it's set up the way that my mind thinks about planning and budgeting, right? I want certain things to be in the front where I'm looking at it more regularly and I can see like that yearly overview. And there are certain things that I want in the month, like my daily expenses, which I don't need broken down by week. I just want a daily log of those things, but I need it within the month. So I don't know, this planner just makes sense to me. But I did want to do a comparison with the other versions of the Happy Planner budget planner, just so you can kind of see those things together. I'll have to kind of put this in the back too. At some point I'll use these pages, I'm assuming. I'm assuming. But I did want to show it to you just so you can kind of see what your options are out there. This planner again, this planner was right around $13 from Amazon, which, you know, I feel like if you're able to find a good deal on the budget planner from the Happy Planner, you can get a good price for it, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive than $13 usually. I think so, at least. But I feel like it's a good purchase and it's more set up the way that my mind works for it. So I just really feel like this is going to be the perfect budget planner for me. And again, as I mentioned at the very top of the video, I will eventually, I think, put together a budget planner, like budget setup video. It might not happen in August though. I just feel like it might be like maybe moving into like the holiday season, I might do something. So it might be September or October, I don't know. Or maybe I'll just find some time to do it. So we'll just see how that goes. But again, here to do the comparison so you can hopefully see the differences. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video. Bye guys.